In the rugged landscapes of 11th century Spain, where kingdoms were locked in a constant dance of alliance and war, and honor was both sword and shield, there arose a figure so legendary that his name echoes through history even today. Rodrigo Diaz de Vivar, better known as El Cid Campeador, El Cid. The very name stirs visions of clashing swords, noble deeds, and an unyielding spirit. His story is one of loyalty and betrayal, of exile and triumph, of war and peace, a story that would be sung by poets and remembered for centuries. This is his legend, and standing in that hall, a figure towers above most men. Rodrigo Diaz, a renowned warrior and a man of unbreakable honor. It begins in the court of King Alfonso VI of Castile. A great feast fills the royal hall. The air is heavy with the scent of roasted meats and aged wine. Nobles laugh, their voices booming under ceilings lined with banners that tell the proud tales of their houses. And standing in that hall, a figure towers above most men. Rodrigo Diaz, a renowned warrior and a man of unbreakable honor. But this is no celebration for him. For though Alfonso sits upon the throne now, Rodrigo had once sworn allegiance to his elder brother Sancho, a king betrayed, ambushed, and murdered. Whispers swirl in the courts. Alfonso might have played a hand in his brother's death. Rodrigo, unwilling to let such accusations go unanswered, does what only a man of his courage and perhaps recklessness could dare. Before nobles, knights, and the king himself, he demands that Alfonso swear on the Bible that he was innocent of his brother's blood. Silence falls. The torches dim in flickers, shadows lengthening as if the room itself holds its breath. Alfonso swears the oath, but the sting of such a public challenge festers in his pride. For that insult, Rodrigo is banished, cast out from the very kingdom he had called home, stripped of title and favor. Banished not just by law, but by the will of a king. Rodrigo, now a man without a nation, rides through rocky roads and dusty plains with only his loyal knights by his side. Some might falter under the weight of such dishonor, but not El Cid. "We shall make our own destiny," he declares to his men one night. Taking up arms for any lord who would hire him, Rodrigo builds a reputation not of wanton violence, but of unshakable honor and fairness. He gains the loyalty of his men and even the reluctant respect of his enemies. As he journeys, his name, El Cid the Lord, grows brighter and brighter. Years pass. The Muslim Moors still control much of Spain, and the land is a patchwork of Christian and Moorish kingdoms. But in this world, one city rises above others, Valencia. A shimmering jewel on the Mediterranean coast, its wealth, its location, it is a prize both spiritual and material. El Cid sets his sights on Valencia. For 9 long months he lays siege to the city, supplies are cut off, the walls seem insurmountable. But like the steady tide wearing away stone, Rodrigo's patience and strategy prove victorious. The gates open, and Valencia belongs to him. Though he has taken the city by force, Rodrigo does not rule as a tyrant. Jews, Christians, and Muslims live side by side under his governance, bound by laws that promote peace rather than division. In a time defined by hatred and war, such a choice earns El Cid not just fear, but admiration. From the south, the Almoravids, a mighty Muslim empire, march. Their banners blot the horizon, their army vast and ferocious. They aim to crush El Cid and take Valencia. The champion of Spain does not flinch. Even as the enemy marches, even as his own forces prepare for what seems an impossible stand, Rodrigo faces his men with fire in his eyes. "Even if the odds are against us," he says, "we fight for what is just, we fight for what is ours, and we fight together." But that night, with the weight of years upon him, Rodrigo Diaz de Vivar takes his last breath. For many, it would have been the end, but for his wife, Doña Jimena, and his loyal soldiers, it is not. Determined not to let their leader's death sow fear, they dress his body in armor, place him upright on his legendary horse Babica, and fix his lance in his hand. At dawn, Rodrigo Diaz rides again, not in life but in a vision of glory. When the Almoravids see him leading his troops, they are filled with terror, for they believe he has risen from the dead to strike them down. Their ranks break, retreat turning into a rout, and El Cid achieves one last glorious victory from beyond the grave. The very name stirs visions of clashing swords, noble deeds, and an unyielding spirit. His story is one of loyalty and betrayal, of exile and triumph, of war and peace, a story that would be sung by poets and remembered for centuries. This is his legend,